I was 3 months pregnant when I lost the baby, pushed down by Gloria's son. Erick's long-lost true love, lying on the hospital bed. I murmured, "Erick, I want some pork bone soup." Erick forced a stiff smile, avoiding my gaze. "Luna, you must be hungry. I'll make you some porridge," I repeated. "I want pork bone soup. I just had a miscarriage. The doctor said I'm malnourished. I need real nutrition." Erick went silent for a long moment. Then said slowly, "Luna, we're out of meat ration coupons." "Impossible. I've been saving those for over half a year. I never used them. So we could bring half home for your parents at New Year's." Erick avoided my eyes, head lowered, mumbling, "Luna, Gloria and her son just got here, and life's been hard." I felt sorry for them. So I stared at him. The young Erick began to blur and merge, with the version of him 40 years later, successful, ruthless, but always putting Gloria and her son first. In my past life, I paid with my life to learn the truth. So why did I expect anything different this time? I laughed, coldly. I looked him in the eyes, and said each word clearly, "Erick, let's get a divorce." Chapter 1. Erick didn't believe I truly wanted a divorce. He thought I was just jealous, throwing a tantrum. After all, I loved him so much. I gave up my chance to attend university for him. Gave up a comfortable life to follow him, back when he had nothing, just because I wanted to be with him. Be the loving wife by his side. He knew exactly how much I'd sacrificed. And once, we really did love each other. We used to share a single steamed bun, split one egg, even one candy. He'd take a bite, and I'd eat the rest. Back then, my world was only Erick. And his eyes held no one but me. He once held me tightly, and with deep emotion, swore, "Luna, you've suffered following me. I swear, I'll treat you well for the rest of my life. I'll give you the best life imaginable." I believed him, but who knew that oath would only last 3 short years. In the 3rd year of our marriage, just when Erick finally got promoted, just when I thought our good days were about to begin, Gloria showed up, his childhood sweetheart, his unreachable dream, and she brought her son, Lucas. From the day Gloria appeared, Erick began to forget every promise he had made to me. He ran errands for Gloria, found her a place to live, even pulled strings to get her into the arts troupe. If Gloria's faucet broke, or a light bulb went out, Erick would rush over to fix it. But in our home, everything fell on me. I didn't want him to come home exhausted from work, only to be burdened with chores. So I took it all on myself. From a delicate young woman, I became a housewife who handled everything. Every day Erick came home to hot meals, warm bath water, and clean clothes. He never had to lift a finger. In my past life, I naively believed he helped Gloria because he was kind, until Gloria's son, Lucas, pushed me while I was 3 months pregnant, and caused me to miscarry, until 5 years later, when I was pregnant again and close to giving birth, and Gloria and I were in the same car accident. Erick told the doctors to save Gloria first. He left me, bleeding out, to die. I survived. I gave birth, but the hemorrhaging took my uterus. I could never have children again, so I poured all my love into that one and only child. I raised him with care, ensuring his every need was met. I even hired private tutors to improve his grades. Eventually, he got into the best university. He earned a PhD. Erick kept getting promoted, and eventually became the top leader. I was thrilled. I went out to buy groceries, ready to cook a celebratory meal for father and son. But on the way, I was hit by a car, lying in the hospital bed. I overheard my son and Erick talking. "Dad, now that Mom's dead, you can finally marry Aunt Gloria, right? She's waited so many years. It's time you made her your wife." Chapter 2. I opened my eyes in shock, staring at Erick and my son, both standing in silence. I listened as my son spoke about how hard Gloria's life had been all these years, how much she had suffered, and rage, pure, searing rage, ignited in my chest. The betrayal from the man I trusted most, and from my own flesh and blood. twisted that rage into something so sharp, so bitter, that I coughed up blood and closed my eyes, heartbroken and unwilling. I never thought I'd get the chance to live again, but I was reborn, back to the summer of 1985, back to the third year of my marriage to Eric, back to the moment Gloria's son Lucas pushed me down and caused me to lose my 3-month pregnancy. Now that I knew everything, I knew what would happen. I refused to live like last time. I was broken and cold inside when I told Eric I wanted a divorce, but Eric wouldn't agree. He thought I was just throwing a jealous tantrum for the first time. He even promised, "Luna, I'm sorry. I know you're upset about losing the baby. I'll keep my distance from Gloria." I swear, I closed my eyes, ignored him. There was no negotiating. I was divorcing him. I stayed in the hospital for a week before I was discharged. Eric was away on a mission the whole time. The day I left the hospital, I walked home alone, by myself. Along the empty streets, a lamb soup vendor stood outside, calling out to customers, "Fresh lamb soup, just off the stove. Good for your health, come and try a bowl." I looked down at my patched clothes and thought about how Eric had given all our meat coupons to Gloria and her son, not caring at all that I'd just lost a baby and needed nourishment. Love or no love, it was painfully obvious. Eric didn't love me, so I had to love myself. I stepped into the shop and told the boss, "1 lamb soup, please." The vendor blinked, surprised. "You sure? Didn't you say a few days ago you had to save money to send to your in-laws?" "Not anymore," I replied softly. Looking back, I was such a fool. Last time, I would pinch every penny, split 1 coin into 10, if I could. But what did that get me? All the meat coupons, grain tickets, fabric vouchers I saved, they were all handed to Gloria and her son, to waste at their leisure, while I ate scraps and wore rags. Last time, I was hopelessly stupid, but this time, I'll love myself, and I'll start with this bowl of lamb soup. Chapter 3, Full and Warm. I returned to the home Eric and I shared. In the bedroom, I reached under the bed and pulled out a suitcase. Inside were all the things I had painstakingly saved over the years. The meat coupons, gone. There were still a few grain and fabric coupons, and a bit of money left. I took the coupons and money, stuffed them into my pocket. Then I saw them, 2 lonely gold rings at the bottom of the box. I picked them up. They were our wedding rings. Back then, I had defied my family and followed Eric, a penniless young man. All I had on me was a single gold bracelet, my grandmother's gift. Eric had nothing, not a penny to his name. I sold the bracelet. Part of the money I sent to his parents. The rest was used to cover our living expenses. And with what was left, I bought 2 gold rings, our wedding rings, after we got married. Both Eric and I worked and lived frugally, but Eric's family had parents and younger siblings to support. Every month, we sent half our salaries home to them. Only what was left was for us. I pinched every penny for 2 years, saving up to decorate our home, finally make it feel like ours. But all that money? Eric gave it to Gloria and her son, to help them settle down. And when every last bit of my savings was gone, when Gloria complained she didn't have proper shoes and clothes to perform in, Eric went behind my back and pawned our wedding rings, the rings I had bought, with the last of my grandmother's gold. With all my love, with all my faith, he pawned them to buy dance costumes and shoes for Gloria. Because of those expensive costumes, Gloria shone on stage and caught the eye of the leadership. She rose like a rocket, becoming the star of the performance troupe. She never thanked me. Instead, she came to flaunt her success, to brag about the deep, destined love between her and Eric. Thinking back on how I suffered in silence last time, swallowing every grievance, I let out a cold laugh. This time, I'll pawn the rings first. If Eric wants to use my heart to pave Gloria's golden road, he can dream on. Chapter 4. The 2 rings weighed 15 grams in total. Back in 1984, Gold was cheap, just over 30 yuan per gram. I pawned both rings for less than 500 yuan, with the cash in my pocket. I walked past the supply and marketing cooperative. I looked down at my patched-up clothes, and walked in without hesitation. When I came out, I was carrying a bag. I'd exchanged all my fabric coupons for 3 new outfits. The soles of my shoes were worn through, so I bought 2 new pairs as well. When I got home, I found Erick had returned. The moment he saw me, he reached out to take the bags from my hand. I stepped back, avoiding him, rubbing his hands. He said awkwardly, "I went to the hospital to pick you up. The doctor said you were already discharged." I didn't respond, seeing my silence. Erick asked cautiously, "Luna, are you still in pain?" I looked at him coldly. "It hurts. Of course it hurts." He hesitated. Gloria already made Lucas apologize. "It won't happen again." "Apologize?" I asked, raising an eyebrow. "When did he apologize?" "I must have missed that." Erick fumbled. "Lucas knew he was wrong. He was too afraid to face you. So he apologized to me. I forgave him for you." "Erick," I snapped. "Who gave you the right to forgive someone on my behalf? That's your child, isn't it? How can you be so heartless?" Erick's face darkened with pain. He reached out to take my hand. His voice softened. "Luna, I know you've suffered. Just rest, okay? We're still young. We can still have another baby." "No," I cut him off. Yanking my hand away, I looked straight into his eyes. My voice calm but firm. "Erick, you and I will never have another child, because I will never again give birth to that cold-blooded son who abandoned his mother and called another woman mom. In this life, you and I are done. There is no future for us." But Erick still thought I was just throwing a tantrum, flustered but patient. He tried to comfort me. Then, without warning, he pulled me into his arms, tight. His voice, low and tender, murmured into my ear, "Luna, don't be mad, okay? It's all my fault. You can hit me, yell at me, just don't ignore me." He kept saying he was wrong, but did he really understand why? I doubt it. Just then, footsteps echoed from outside. The door creaked open. Gloria stood there. She froze. Her eyes widened. She let out a little gasp. Erick immediately released me, but Gloria didn't leave. Her gaze swept over me, not quite hatred, but something close. She finally looked at Erick. Delicate, pitiful. She said in a soft, trembling voice, "Erick, I need to talk to you." Chapter 5. Hearing that, I let out a cold laugh, then turned and slammed the bedroom door behind me. Out in the living room, Gloria bit her lip and said in a pitiful voice, "Erick, is Luna still mad at me?" "Of course not. Don't overthink it." Erick replied quickly, "Luna's not the petty type. Anyway, what did you want to talk to me about?" Gloria hesitated. "Well, it's about that thing I checked, and the clothes and shoes for the performance will cost nearly 500 yuan. I really don't have that kind of money. Maybe I should give up on being the lead dancer." Erick went silent for a moment, then said, "This is a great opportunity. You can't miss it. But I really can't afford the clothes. And you're having a hard time too. Besides, Luna's still upset. I don't want to come between you two. So understanding, so considerate. How could Erick possibly resist?" He comforted her gently. "Don't worry. I'll figure something out. Just wait for my word." Reassured, Gloria smiled and left. A few minutes later, Erick came into the bedroom. He bent down, pulled out the suitcase under the bed, then froze in shock as he opened it. "Where's everything?" "The grain coupons, the fabric coupons, our wedding rings? They're gone." I sat up slowly from the bed, my voice calm. "The fabric coupons, I used them to buy clothes and shoes. The grain coupons, I used to buy food." Erick's face changed, his voice tinged with disapproval. "You just decided to go out and buy clothes? Out of nowhere?" "Oh, so Gloria can buy clothes with my savings. But I can't spend a single coupon on myself? Rage surged in my chest. Why can't I buy clothes, Eric? Those were my coupons, saved with my own hands. My clothes were falling apart. Buying new ones with my coupons, isn't that my right? Eric was caught off guard. His eyes dropped to my patched clothes. He wasn't blind. He just assumed that since I loved him, I should sacrifice, endure, go without. My words embarrassed him. He softened his tone. You're right. You should have gotten some new clothes long ago. It's my fault. I've been neglecting you. His apology was smooth, almost too smooth. Then he changed the subject. But what about our wedding rings? Where are they? I pawned them. I said it lightly. Eric blinked. He didn't even ask why. Instead, he asked, how much did you get for them? Luna, give me the money, okay? I narrowed my eyes. Why should I give you the money? Didn't you just send money to your parents? What do you need it for? He had no legitimate reason. In my past life, he secretly pawned the rings and bought Gloria expensive dancewear. But this time, I beat him to it. If he wanted the money, he'd have to explain himself. Finally, after a long pause, Eric said, well, I have a friend. We're like brothers. His family's in trouble. Something big. He's desperate. I promised to lend him some money. I cut him off. Really? I should know all your friends. Who is it? You don't know him. It's an old friend. From before. Eric was lying. All this, just to give money to Gloria. It was laughable. In my last life, he told the same lie. It wasn't until Gloria bragged about it behind his back that I learned the truth. In this life, he hadn't changed. Still scheming, still deceiving, but he's not the only one who knows how to lie. Now I do too. Chapter 6. I gave Eric a regretful look. Well, that's a shame. I've already spent the money. What? That much money? How could you spend it so quickly? Eric didn't believe me, but I was ready. I sent it to my parents. It's been 3 years since I followed you away from home. In those 3 years, I've never visited them. Never sent a gift or a penny. I'm such an unfilial daughter, aren't I? My mom's birthday is coming up. I just wanted to send her something. Eric fell silent. It was true. These past 3 years, I had devoted myself only to his family, while completely ignoring my own. Sending money to my mom for her birthday was more than justified, and I wasn't giving Eric any more chances to ask for money. Eric started to panic. He was desperate to get the money, so he could buy clothes for Gloria and help her shine on stage. Even though he just returned from a mission and hadn't rested at all, he rushed back out again to find a way. He wasn't gone long before Gloria showed up. She walked in, beaming with smug delight. Luna, she smiled. Did you hear? I'm going to be the lead dancer. I shot her a cold glance. And what does that have to do with me? Oh, how can it not? She giggled. Eric was so happy when he heard. Then he found out I didn't have proper clothes or shoes for the performance, and he immediately offered to help me get them. He's just so good to me. I stared at this woman, her face glowing with arrogance. In my last life, Gloria didn't gloat until much later, after she had already become the troupe's star performer, and Eric had become the top leader. Only then did she come to me, to show off her success. But in this life, she came early. Why? Wasn't she afraid I'd make a scene? Wasn't she worried I'd sabotage her? No, she wasn't afraid of me at all. She was bold. Because she was favored, she thought I was weak, easy to bully. I looked at her, smiling so proudly, and let out a small sigh. Eric really treats you well, I said softly. She beamed. Of course he does. He cares so much about me. Honestly, Luna, I feel bad for you. You lost your baby. And Eric didn't even flinch. Did you know, when you miscarried, he gave all the meat coupons to me and Lucas, so we could eat well? Her smile widened. Her eyes were full of disdain. He feels sorry for me and Lucas. But not for you, his wife who just lost a child. Oh, and when he came back from his mission? He came to see us first, not you. Luna, you've followed Eric for years, but are you sure he ever really loved you? I stared at her. Silent. In my past life, Gloria had never been this blunt. What changed? Had she gone mad? She added with a smug smile. Oh, right. I need expensive clothes and shoes for the performance. But I don't have any money. Eric offered to figure it out for me. I sneered. Is that so? Are you mad, Luna? She asked sweetly. Don't be mad, Eric even said. He'd pawn your wedding rings to help me. You gave him those rings, didn't you? You gave up everything for him, but I guess he wasn't too touched by that. My heart skipped a beat. How did Gloria know about the rings? In my last life, she only found out about that after I argued with Eric and exposed him. There's no way she could know in this timeline, unless Gloria also came back to life. How interesting. I didn't want to hear another word from her. I took the glass of water and splashed it right in her face. Gloria gasped, covered her face, and ran out crying. Chapter 7. Eric didn't return until the evening of the next day. As soon as he came back, Gloria intercepted him on the street. Of course she wouldn't waste the chance to complain. So when Eric finally walked in, his face was dark, and he immediately exploded. Gloria came to see you out of kindness. How could you splash water in her face? Luna, you've really disappointed me. I sat at the dining table, quietly eating a bowl of white rice and egg soup. I didn't even look up as Eric barked at me. By the time his rant was over, I had already finished eating. For the record, I only cooked enough for myself, nothing for him. I set down my chopsticks. Are you done? Then it's my turn to speak. If Gloria said I bullied her, did she also tell you what she said to me first? What did she say? Eric asked. She said you don't love me. She said you only care about her and her son. That's why you gave her our meat coupons. Why you do everything for them. She also said you planned to pawn our wedding rings just to buy her dancing shoes and clothes. She told me I was pathetic. Eric's face twisted in disbelief. No way. That's not possible. Luna, you must be making this up. You're still mad about what happened with Lucas. And now you're exaggerating everything, believe it or not. I don't care. I cut him off, and suddenly, I felt a surge of sorrow. Eric had shared my bed for 3 years. But he didn't believe me. Deep down, he had always chosen to trust Gloria. I really was, as pathetic as Gloria said, but I was done feeling sad. I looked him in the eye. If you don't trust me, then let's divorce. We'll file for it tomorrow. Luna, what nonsense is this? You think marriage is a game? I don't want to hear that word from you again. Even now. He refused to divorce. I didn't know why he was so unwilling. But I didn't care anymore. My mind was made up. While he sat there, fuming on the sofa, I calmly washed up, got ready for bed, and went to sleep. I knew what he was waiting for. He wanted me to comfort him, to say sorry, to beg him like I always did. But that version of me is gone. This time, I won't go running after him with a warm face, just to be met with a cold heart. From now on, he'll have to get used to my silence, my indifference. Chapter 8. From that day on, I stopped caring about Eric. No more hot meals waiting for him. No more warm water. No more clean clothes. I didn't ask where he went. Didn't worry about him. Didn't miss him. When Eric came home, he was greeted by a cold, quiet house, and a colder version of me. He assumed I was still mad. So he didn't comfort me. We fell into a silent cold war. When we passed each other, we didn't even make eye contact. We were like strangers. Of course, Gloria benefited from our silence. She cooked dinner for Eric, washed his clothes, played the part of the dutiful wife. Several times, she came to flaunt it all to my face, trying to provoke me, and each time, I coldly kicked her out. She ran crying to Eric, complaining about me. But it didn't help, because I didn't care how Eric saw me. And Eric, he didn't dare fight with me anymore. Time passed. Gloria's good days came to an end. In my last life, I saved and scrimped. And Eric gave everything I had to her and her son. This time, I didn't scrimp for anyone. I saved my wages for myself. Half of Eric's salary still went to his family. And what was left couldn't support Gloria's lifestyle. Without my full support, Gloria couldn't keep eating like a queen. I overheard her son crying about not having meat, no candy or snacks. They also ran out of white rice and flour, with no more of my ration coupons. Gloria had to rely on herself. She didn't have enough coupons for fancy food. She had to eat coarse grains, something she couldn't stand, especially when she saw me eating rice and ribs every day. To rebuild my health, her eyes turned red with jealousy. But that wasn't the worst. The real problem was, Gloria's performance day was getting closer. Right now, Eric was still just a low-ranking officer. His salary was limited. He had no way to buy the expensive performance outfit Gloria needed. Life was hard for everyone. And Eric tried borrowing money everywhere, but no one could lend him 500 yuan. So when the big day arrived, Gloria had no fancy costume. She couldn't dazzle on stage. She had dreamed of outshining every other dancer. But in the end, she walked away with a consolation prize. The difference from her past life was just too much. She cried for days, locked herself inside, refused to see anyone. She waited for Eric to come and comfort her. And of course, he did. He spent the whole afternoon at her place, even stayed for dinner. Meanwhile, I sat calmly in our house, waiting for him, with a divorce agreement in hand, when Eric walked in and saw me waiting in the living room. He looked surprised and delighted. He smiled and hurried toward me. "Luna, you were waiting for me." Before he could finish, I picked up the document beside me and handed it to him. "Take a look. If there's no problem, just sign it." Chapter 9. When Eric realized he was holding divorce papers, his face changed instantly. "You want a divorce? Luna, how dare you?" I stayed calm. "Why wouldn't I dare? You love Gloria so much. Isn't it better if I back out and let you two be together?" Hearing my calm tone pushed Eric over the edge. He kicked over a chair, threw the papers to the floor, and roared at me. "Luna! How many times do I have to say it before you believe me? Gloria and I are just friends. I only helped her because I pitied her. I have no feelings for her whatsoever." I gave him a long, hard look. "Really? Then let me ask you, are you sure you're not ashamed, saying that out loud? Is Gloria the only one in this compound who needs help?" "I don't think so." "What about Virginia, whose family has a bedridden elder? What about Zach, with 4 kids to feed? Funny, I've never seen you offer to help them." Eric's face turned red. He'd been caught. And he knew it. "You're being unreasonable," he shouted. "But it's not like you think. I'm not divorcing you." I stared at him, my patience nearly gone. "Eric, why can't you just admit the truth? You can't let go of Gloria. You love her more than you love your own wife." "I'm not even angry about it anymore. I just want to set you free. Sign the papers, and you can be with your true love. Isn't that something to be happy about?" But Eric growled. "I will never divorce you. Don't even think about it." Then, he tore the divorce papers apart, and added coldly, "Marriage is not a game, Luna. Our marriage is a military one. It's sacred, untouchable. You can't just divorce me over some baseless suspicions. I won't allow it." I was stuck. He was right. We were in a military marriage, which meant divorce was not easy, unless he committed a serious offense, or signed willingly. But I would never let this become another wasted life like my last. I would never stay trapped again. I won't allow it. Not in this life. Chapter 10. That night, things between Eric and me reached a breaking point. because I had demanded a divorce. Erick started distancing himself from Gloria. So Gloria came crying to him again, saying her son Lucas was hurt. But this time, Erick didn't rush out like he usually did. He hesitated, then looked at me. Luna. She's a single mother with a kid, life isn't easy for her. Why don't we go help them together? Will you come with me? I knew exactly what those two were up to. After everything they'd done to hurt me, how could I possibly go and help them? I coldly refused. If you want to go, then go. Don't drag me with you. You know what's funny? There are dozens of families in this compound. Yet she always comes to you for help. Why not anyone else? Erick froze in place. Outside, Gloria kept crying. When there was still no response, she dialed up the drama. Lucas! Don't scare mommy. Help! Someone help me, my Lucas fainted. Her screams rang through the night. Erick finally caved. I'll go check. I'll be right back. He didn't come back until very late. When he did, he was holding a bag of candies. He walked in cautiously, glancing at me, then explained, Lucas hurt his leg. It was serious. Thank God we got him to the hospital in time. I sneered silently. What Erick didn't know was that while he was caring for Lucas at the hospital, Gloria had come back home. She stood in front of me, smirking, bragging about how much Erick cared for her son, how he paid for the medical bills, how the doctor mistook her for Erick's wife, how perfect they looked together, how Erick had bought her and Lucas candies and cookies. She wasn't just bragging, she was humiliating me. But I wasn't mad at her words. I just felt one thing. Why? Why should I have to suffer all this? None of it was supposed to be mine to bear. It was all because of this man. Erick had no idea what I was thinking. He handed me the candies with a gentle smile. I picked these up for you on the way home. Here, try them. I didn't even look. I scoffed. Are you sure these are for me? Not leftovers from Gloria and her son? Erick's face turned beet red. I had humiliated him completely. He stammered, Luna, I already apologized. Haven't I? Please stop being angry. I just pity them. That's all. They don't have anyone else. Asterisk asterisk. I had heard that excuse 1,000 times. If I couldn't change Erick, then I would change myself. I covered my ears and slammed the door shut. Outside, I heard Erick sighing again and again. In the past, even a single sigh from him would make my heart ache. But now, I felt nothing. I fell asleep in minutes. At peace, somewhere in my dreams, I felt a pair of arms wrap around me. Chapter 11. I woke up with a jolt. In front of me was Erick's handsome face. He was holding me tight, breathing heavily. Luna, let's have a child. Once we have a baby, everything will be okay. A child? He still wanted to use a baby to trap me? I instantly thought of those cruel words I had heard before I died in my past life. The rage and hatred surged up. I shoved Erick away, but he clung tighter, refused to stop. That's when I raised my hand and slapped him hard. Smack. Erick froze, staring at me in disbelief. I kicked him off the bed. Thud. He landed on the floor with a solid crash, still in shock. He looked up at me. My face was stone cold. Erick, I said slowly. You disgust me. The light in our room stayed on all night. Erick sat at the bedside in silence. He didn't sleep a wink. At dawn, I got up, washed up, and left without a word. After breakfast outside, I went to work. I picked up the office phone and dialed a number I had kept buried in my heart. For years, the line rang. I was nervous. I had cut myself off from the people who loved me, all for Erick. Would they even take my call now? Finally, a familiar voice answered. Hello? My tears surged up instantly. I choked out. Mom. Luna? Is it really you, my Luna? It's me, Mom. It's me. You heartless girl. It's been 3 years. Not a word. How could you be so cruel to us? I'm sorry, Mom. I was wrong. It was all my fault. I'm so sorry. I couldn't stop crying. Tears poured out like a flood. My mom was crying too. We've been waiting. Luna. Me, your dad, your brother, your grandma. We waited every day for your call. Are you okay? Is Eric treating you well? Do you have a baby yet? When are you two coming home? We all miss you so much. Her questions came one after another. And I cried even harder. Mom, I'll come home to see you. But just me. I'll be alone. My mom paused. Then her voice turned sharp. He's mistreating you, isn't he? That heartless bastard. How dare he? Just wait. Your dad, your brother and I are coming over right now. We'll make him pay. No, Mom, don't come. I've decided to divorce Eric. There was a beat of silence. Then she said, we support you. No matter what. We're with you. She didn't even ask why. She raised me. She knew my heart. She knew. I once loved Eric with everything I had. So if I was choosing to walk away now, it meant I had been pushed too far. She said, Luna, we'll wait for you. If you need anything, just tell us. We'll help you. No matter what. Mom, if I can't get a divorce through normal means, please ask Dad to pull some strings. No matter what. I'm leaving Eric. Chapter 12. My father wasn't just anybody. If Eric refused to divorce me, I could always ask my father for help. He had the power to end this marriage. But I didn't even need to ask, because Gloria came to me herself. She looked like she had just cried. Eyes puffy. Her face filled with resentment and unwillingness. Luna, she sneered. I never thought you were this kind of person. Stabbing people in the back, playing reverse psychology? Speak human language. I shot back without the slightest courtesy. Gloria glared at me with hate. Eric sent me to talk to you. He wants to make it clear. There's nothing between him and me. Don't misunderstand us. Misunderstand? I raised my eyebrows. Didn't you tell me Eric only cares about you and your son? Didn't you say he spoiled you both like royalty? Didn't you say he would pawn our wedding rings to buy you clothes and shoes? Didn't you mock me, saying he didn't love me at all? And now suddenly, you're backtracking? Gloria's face turned dark. She was furious, but had nothing to say. Fine. Luna, you win. I admit it, you win, okay? Win what? Exactly? I asked coldly. She snapped. Stop pretending. You threatened Eric with divorce, just to force him to cut ties with me. You're so manipulative. Her voice dripped with rage, as if I had committed some unforgivable crime. Eric's career is rising right now. A divorce scandal would ruin him. For his sake, I'll do anything, even apologize to you. She clenched her fists. I'm sorry. It's my fault. I made you misunderstand. Please forgive me. I stared at her, stunned. Was this an apology? Did Eric really send her to apologize? A bit late for that, isn't it? After spitting out her forced apology, Gloria added bitterly, even if I apologized, I still look down on you. You're cunning. Luna, you think pulling this stunt will tie Eric to you forever? Maybe you have his body now, but his heart? It's always been mine. I couldn't help but laugh. Wow, Gloria, you really went through all that suffering, all for Eric? You don't need to. If you want to marry him, if you want to be his one and only, don't waste time blaming me. Just use your brain a little. There are plenty of ways to do it. Gloria stared at me. What do you mean? Ways? Chapter 13. I took out a divorce agreement and handed it to Gloria. If you can get Eric to sign this, then I'll have nothing to do with him anymore. Aren't you two so madly in love? Then Eric is all yours. Gloria stared at me, stunned. You're serious? This isn't some trick? She didn't believe it. She couldn't believe I would walk away so easily. Are you scheming something again? I swear, Luna, I won't fall for your trap. I pointed at the divorce papers. They're in your hands. Take a few minutes to read through it. If you can get him to sign it, he's yours. Gloria's expression shifted. She was tempted. She carefully read through the document, line by line, making sure there were no traps, no fine print. But she was still suspicious. Why would you give him up? You stayed by his side when he was broke and useless. Now he's on the rise. Why let go now? I looked her dead in the eyes and said coldly, because I have standards. Used men disgust me. That shut her up. Gloria believed me. She took the divorce papers and left. I'll make him sign it, she said, as long as you keep your word. I knew Gloria had her methods. She had Eric wrapped around her finger, enough to make him forget the woman who suffered and struggled beside him. So yes, I believed she'd get that signature. I began packing. 3 years ago. I had left everything behind, even broke ties with my family, just to follow Eric. All I had was a gold bracelet, and now, 3 years later, I was leaving him, still with nothing. It took me less than 10 minutes to pack everything I had, just one small bag. I was done packing when Eric came home. Chapter 14. He came home with bags full of groceries, meat, fish, and vegetables, and went straight into the kitchen to cook. I stayed in the room and didn't go out. An hour later, Eric knocked on my door. Luna, dinner's ready. I got up and walked out. The dining table was filled with dishes, but what caught my eye was a small, beautifully decorated cake. Eric greeted me with a bright, cheerful smile, as if nothing had ever gone wrong between us. Come, sit down, he said eagerly, noticing my gaze linger on the cake. He explained, Luna, today is our 3rd wedding anniversary. I wanted to celebrate it with you. How thoughtful of him to remember this date. In our previous life, it had always been me, only me, who remembered our anniversary. He never cared, never once. And now that I've decided to leave, he pulls out this performance. It wasn't a surprise. It was a shock, a cold, calculated move. There was no warmth, no emotion. This meal, I ate it with mixed feelings. Eric kept talking about our past 3 years together, how I gave up everything to be with him, how we struggled and endured hardships together. His eyes were filled with a familiar kind of affection. And then he took my hand. Luna, I was wrong. I shouldn't have hurt you. Please forgive me. I promise I'll change. My heart ached bitterly. So he remembered it all. Every detail. He knew I had been hurt. And yet, he still did it. No matter how sincere he sounded now. No matter what promises he made. My heart no longer moved. Because I remembered. I remembered the Eric from my past life. The one who betrayed everything we had. I remembered what my son said, as I lay dying. Dad, once Mom dies, you can finally marry Aunt Gloria. She's waited for you long enough. Eric wanted me dead. Only then could he fulfill his wish, to marry Gloria. How ironic. How heartbreaking. But most of all, how real. Eric lit the candles on the cake. He held my hand, gently. Make a wish, he whispered. I smiled. I closed my hands, as if in prayer, and wished upon the flickering flame. In the past, my wish was always the same, to be with Eric forever, safe, happy, and never part. But now I wished to never see him again, for the rest of my life. Chapter 15. Gloria moved fast. Just 2 days later, I received the divorce agreement, with Eric's signature on it. I didn't ask how she convinced him. I didn't care to know. When Gloria handed me the signed document, her face was tense. You better not go back on your word, she warned. If you do, I won't let you off easy. She dared to threaten me? Who gave her the guts? I calmly took the divorce papers. I won't go back on it. Thank you. Yes. Thank you, Gloria, for helping me get exactly what I wanted. But from now on, she's on her own. She only sees the glamorous side of Eric's rising career. She has no idea of the sacrifices behind it. She doesn't know how much I gave in his past life. Eric's success wasn't just from his own efforts. I was his backbone, And he had my parents' support and connections. Gloria thinks she's landed a jackpot. That she'll live a life of luxury, as the wife of a military commander. But does she even deserve it? Soon after, Eric went on another mission. Once he was gone, I didn't hesitate. I took the signed divorce agreement straight to his superior. The officer was shocked. Why are you divorcing? Weren't you two doing fine? I shook my head. We weren't. Our relationship has long been broken. He didn't quite believe it. He wanted to call Eric, who was away on duty, to verify. But I stopped him just in time. I told him I had been away from home for years. And now I wanted to return, to take care of my aging father. The moment I mentioned my father, the officer's expression changed. He said nothing more, and stamped the document on the spot, with the stamped report. I went straight to the Civil Affairs Bureau. The divorce certificate was soon in my hands. After that came the resignation process. The unit didn't object. They didn't try to keep me. Everything was settled. On the same day, once everything was done, I went to the train station and bought a ticket home. Eric. From now on, we walk separate roads. Forever. Chapter 16. Eric had been away on a mission for half a month. But this time, he missed Luna desperately. He had never missed her like this before, though he was scheduled to return at dawn. The thought of Luna pulled at him. So he rushed home in the middle of the night. The house was quiet. Eric tiptoed inside, gently opened the bedroom door. There, on the bed, Luna lay sound asleep, wrapped in the blanket. A soft smile crept up on Eric's face. He quietly freshened up and slipped into bed. He first warmed the sheets, and then gently embraced the woman he had longed for so much. His heart trembled. The memory of the last time, when Luna slapped him and pushed him off the bed, was still vivid. It won't happen again tonight, right? He thought to himself. Then, as if in answer, the woman turned over and wrapped her arms around him. They hadn't shared a night like this since Luna's miscarriage. Her initiative. It stirred his desire, although he vaguely sensed that the woman felt a bit different from Luna. He didn't stop. Who else could it be, lying on his and Luna's bed? So he gave in, completely. That night was a night of abandon and indulgence. As the first light crept in through the window, Eric let go of the woman, carefully got out of bed, intending to surprise her with breakfast. But when he turned to look at her face, he froze. What is this? Why, is it Gloria? Was he hallucinating? He rubbed his eyes. No mistake. It was Gloria. He even bit his own arm to make sure. It hurt. This wasn't a dream. This was real. The woman lying in his bed was not Luna, but Gloria. Where was Luna? Why was Gloria here? His head spun with 1,000 questions, none with answers. Before he could sort his thoughts, Gloria opened her eyes, looked at him sweetly, and said, Eric, I'm yours now. You have to take responsibility for me. Her voice was soft, her smile shy, but Eric only felt disgust. Overwhelming, gut-turning disgust. Why is it you? Where's Luna? What have you done with her? He glared at her with bloodshot eyes. You planned this? You shameless thing. I helped you out of kindness. How could you do this to me? How am I supposed to explain this to Luna? He roared at her, eyes burning, voice full of fury. There was not an ounce of tenderness in his gaze, only rage. He knew Luna. She was a woman with boundaries, clean, proud, and decisive. Now that this happened, she would never come back. He panicked. He lost her. He reached out and grabbed Gloria by the throat. You filthy, scheming woman. Why did you do this? Why? Gloria's flushed face turned pale. She struggled, gasping, her nails clawing at Eric's arms. She thought she was going to die. Then suddenly, the door burst open, and a boy's voice shouted, Let go of my mom. Don't hurt her. It was Lucas. Chapter 17. The moment Lucas saw Eric choking his mother to death, he leapt forward, screaming and crying hysterically. But Eric was already beyond reason. His fury was uncontrollable. Why? Why had Gloria set him up like this? He helped her out of kindness, out of gratitude for her brother who had once saved his life. But she repaid his kindness with deceit. He finally understood. Luna was never being dramatic. She had been right all along. Gloria was a snake. You shameless woman. Why don't you just die? His hands clamped around her throat. Blood began to trickle. But he didn't let go. Lucas, in a desperate bid to save his mother, lunged forward and bit Eric hard on the leg. Eric, in pain, kicked him hard. Crack! Lucas flew across the room, hit the wall, bounced off a corner of the table, and landed on the floor with a sickening thud. Blood gushed from his mouth. Screams echoed across the military compound. Neighbors rushed over and froze in shock at what they saw. Several men rushed forward to pull Eric off Gloria. She gasped violently, barely surviving. Lucas was curled on the floor, motionless, blood pouring from his mouth. The corner of the table had struck his eye, blinding him in one eye. Seeing her son like that, Gloria screamed, half naked. She crawled toward him sobbing, "Lucas! Baby, please don't scare mommy. Somebody help! Help my son!" Lucas was rushed to the hospital. The diagnosis: 2 broken ribs and a ruptured right eye, permanently blind. Gloria wept endlessly in the hospital corridor, howling in despair. The incident was too serious to cover up. Eric was immediately taken into military custody and placed in confinement. The military district called an emergency meeting to decide Eric's fate. Chapter 18. A week later, Eric was released. The first thing he said to his superior was, "Where's Luna? Where is she? I want to see Luna." The leader sighed and handed him the signed divorce report and divorce certificate. "Luna divorced you. She's already gone." "That's impossible. When did she divorce me? Why didn't I know?" "This is the divorce report with your signature on it. You should know better than us how this happened." Eric clutched his head, swearing that he had never signed any divorce papers. Never! But if that were true, where did the signed divorce report come from? He thought hard, then suddenly remembered something right before he left for his mission. Gloria came to him one night asking for a signature, because Luna wanted a divorce. Eric had asked Gloria to apologize and explain, and promised to take care of her and her son. After all, Gloria's brother had once saved his life, and he had promised to look after her. As a final favor, Gloria said she wanted to buy a house and move out with her son. The money would be deducted from Eric's salary. Thinking it was the last time he'd deal with Gloria, he agreed. Later, Gloria brought him a contract to sign, supposedly for the house purchase. He didn't think much and signed it, but it wasn't a property contract at all. It was the divorce report between him and Luna. Eric clutched his head tightly and closed his eyes in despair. There was no more hope for him and Luna. Gloria, that shameless woman. She had cunningly set him up. If this was what Gloria wanted, then let her wait. He was going to make her pay. After divorcing Eric, I returned to my parents' side. Not once did my parents, brother, or grandmother blame me for choosing the wrong person or taking the wrong path. They comforted me and gave me all the safety and love I needed. A few months after coming home, I began preparing for the college entrance exam again. Having been married for several years, I had fallen behind a lot. To catch up, I threw myself into studying, day and night. Hard work pays off. I was finally admitted to my dream university. 4 years flew by. After graduation, I threw myself into serving my country. I let go of all the bitterness from my past life. I let go of the pain Eric and Gloria had caused me. Time truly heals all wounds. 2 years into my job, when I turned 30, I met a man I truly loved and walked into marriage again. We held a grand wedding, and I wore the wedding dress I had always dreamed of. My husband loves me deeply and gives me the best of everything. Our wedding jewelry was exquisite, and we even went abroad for our honeymoon. Life after marriage was sweet and full of joy. My husband only had eyes for me, showering me with care and attention. I was truly happy. A few months after the wedding, I got pregnant. 10 months later, I gave birth to a beautiful son. My husband is a smart man. During the economic reform era, he gave up his secure government job and started his own business. His business grew rapidly and expanded across the entire country. On our 10th wedding anniversary, he threw me a magnificent banquet. After a few drinks at the party, I went outside to get some air and accidentally bumped into a janitor cleaning the restrooms. The elderly janitor, in a work uniform and face full of deep wrinkles, looked startled and called out in disbelief. "Luna, is that really you?" Chapter 19. I squinted at the janitor in front of me, trying to recall if I knew her, but nothing came to mind. She stared at me, trembling, her lips and hands shaking uncontrollably. "Luna, it's really you. I can't believe you're living such a glamorous life." "Who are you?" I asked in confusion. You're doing this on purpose, aren't you?" she snapped, glaring at me viciously. There was a trace of familiarity in that look of hatred. I studied her more carefully, and finally had a guess, though I still wasn't sure. "Are you Gloria? What are you doing here?" I hadn't followed any news about Gloria or Eric these past few years. My family never once mentioned them either. I had always assumed that even if Eric didn't rise to glory like in the previous life, he'd at least still be a major general. With his status, marrying Gloria wouldn't have led her to end up as a janitor cleaning toilets. My shock seemed to humiliate Gloria. She roared at me. "You dare to ask me that? You venomous woman. This is all your fault." Her shaking finger pointed at me. "If it weren't for you giving me the keys and letting me stay at your place, how would I have ended up like this?" "Oh." I raised my brows, pretending to be innocent. All I did was hand her the keys. I never told her to stay at Eric's place. And given their relationship, wasn't it only natural for them to live together? Why was Gloria acting like I had set a trap for her? "You did it on purpose, didn't you? You vile, shameless woman. You set me up. You lured me into your home so I'd sleep with Eric. Then he grew to hate me, lost everything. And now my child is disabled." The hatred in Gloria's eyes could have shredded me. "Luna, how could you be so cruel and calculating?" From her ranting, I pieced together the gist of what had happened. I couldn't help but laugh. "What exactly did I set up? Was it me who told you to get naked and sleep with Eric? And didn't you always claim Eric loved you?" I stepped aside. "Let you two be together. Shouldn't you have been happy?" Her expression stiffened, as if she was trapped in a memory. It wasn't supposed to be like this. My life wasn't supposed to turn out this way. In the last life, Eric became a top leader. I lived a life of luxury with him. Our son had a great job, and people respected me. I cut her off. "Oh, then what went wrong this time?" "It's all because of you. You orchestrated everything." She blamed everything on me, her and Eric's downfall, the destroyed future. "You filthy schemer. Eric lost his entire future because of you. He was dismissed, sent back to his hometown. He has nothing now." I smirked. "I thought you two were in true love." "What? Did you abandon him just because he lost his status?" "No, I never abandoned him," Gloria shouted. "Even though he's the reason my child became disabled, I forgave him. I saved him from prison. I married him. I was ready to spend the rest of my life with him, but he despises me. He tortures me every day." Tears poured down her face like rain. "I'm living in hell now. He beats me, screams at me. He says I tore you two apart and that I have to spend the rest of my life atoning for it." I didn't have the time or energy to listen to Gloria's sob story. I turned and walked away. After all, we all walk the paths we choose. Gloria chose Eric, then she has to live with the consequences. After all, she fought so hard and schemed so long just to get him.